Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Kendrick. This channel is all about life tips, motivation, and education. So I was this past weekend over the holiday watching some football game, watching some sports, more sports than I normally do. I don't really get into sports that much anymore. I think, just kind of getting burned out, being in it, involved in it, high school, college. And I started thinking about some of the greats that are currently playing. So you got Tom Brady, LeBron James, you can throw Aaron Rodgers in there. All these dudes that have success. And why are they so highly respected? Why, when we think about GOATs, greatest of all time, why do we go to some of these guys and consider them the GOATs of their own field? And I always try to put things into perspective of my own life and just life in general. And those guys have a reputation for winning. They have a reputation for bringing greatness. You can say everything you want or anything you want about LeBron James. He makes his teams better. Now, of course, the Lakers this year aren't, what we all anticipated them to be. But he makes his teams greater. He brings out the best in his players. So again, I think about how all of that applies to life. And I always come back to, what is your legacy? What is your legacy going to be? How do you want to be remembered by other people? When we think about LeBron James, we know what his legacy is going to be. When we think about Michael Jordan, we know what his legacy is. And when we think about Tiger Woods, we know what his legacy is. So what are you doing as a person to leave an impact on this earth? What are you doing as a person to leave a legacy for your family? But the more important question is, what are you doing for yourself that once you pass or once you leave this earth, how are people going to talk about you? Are they going to say, this person was all of these things, but... And I always say, when people put the but at the end of a sentence, I'm like, okay, what are you really trying to say? When we think about Michael Jordan, there is no but at the end of that sentence. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest scorers of all time, or the greatest scorer of all time. LeBron James, one of the most complete players to ever play the game. But then when you look at other guys, and we'll just throw Kyrie in there, and I like Kyrie. Again, I don't watch sports the way I do, but I like Kyrie's energy. And people say, well, Kyrie's got some of the best ball handling skills in the NBA or ever, but there's always that but. When you leave this earth, are people gonna put that but at the end of the sentence of Joe Schmo was this, but Sally Sue was this, but how do you want to be remembered? And so when this question comes up, and I think I was just talking to a friend, I think it may have been last week, and the reputation that I try to leave, my reputation and my legacy, when folks think about who I am as a person, I'm always trying to help. So when people say, okay, what was Kendrick about? Man, I loved his energy. I loved his vibe. And I love that he accepted me for who I am instead of judging me. So that's the question I ask. We oftentimes go through life doing things and we get frustrated when we don't have the reputation that we want. Are we doing the things to leave a great reputation? Are we doing the things that to leave a legacy? That's the message for today. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? How do you want your obituary to read? Do you want people to remember you for all the great things you did and then add that but at the end of all that? Or do you want people to remember you for all the great things you did and were solid and left a legacy that nobody could ever question? As I say in all my videos, let that marinate. Think on that. What's your legacy going to be? Until next time, I'm out.